we have two mechanisms within us that keep us safe. The first one is the ego mind. And the ego mind keeps us safe through familiarity, through keeping us the same, keeping us playing small, keeping us living in these programs that are not serving us, but serving those that programmed this into us, our caregivers, our past partners, our religions, communities, societies, all of those expectations that we learn to live by in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, in order to really just be a part of the tribe. Because our survival depended years ago, many, many years ago, upon belonging. And so that gets carried through our DNA. So it's in us to want to be the same, to want to conform, to want to not just be the same as other people, but to stay the same as who we were as a kid when we learned that we needed to be inauthentically us in order to fit in and be loved, right? That's one survival mechanism. But the other one is the one that we silence, the one that we learn to ignore, the one that we disconnect from in order to survive for the ego. And this other mechanism is the part of us that's connected to the divine. This survival mechanism is self-serving, is helping to keep us on our paths, helping to keep us growing, evolving, feeling authentically us. Because I can tell you, as someone who really does not believe in regret, I truly don't believe in regret, but what feels like regret to me, or that resentment, that bitterness, that why and how did I get here, and want to kind of kick yourself in the face, that, in my opinion, comes from not trusting yourself, not listening to your inner voice when something really told you to do something, but you ignored it. And that other survival mechanism is, if you haven't already guessed, your intuition. Intuition is not just to be a psychic, to do readings on people, to serve other people, to, charge for your time and your psychic abilities, or it's not just for that. Intuition is innately ours. It's that voice. It's that divine whisper that comes through our higher selves, our loved ones in spirit, our spirit guides, even through the divine that we are all a part of. But if our ego mind tends to win, then we learn to lean on that as the default survival mechanism. And we don't even realize that that's what we're leaning on. It just is automatic because that's what we learned. Because we are taught to listen to logic over following our hearts. And there's something that I learned when I was getting into human design. And if you're not familiar with human design, definitely look it up. But human design is another divination system. And what it teaches is our mind is actually the least evolved part of us. Our bodies are our psychic instrument. That's not from human design. But our bodies are a psychic instrument and also our subconscious mind. And so for many of us, we go through traumas, myself included, went through my own cocktail of childhood trauma, religious trauma, spiritual trauma, relational trauma, all different stuff. And we all have our stuff. No one escapes the human experience without capital or lowercase t's. But we check out. We leave our bodies. We disassociate. And we don't even realize that we're doing it until we're so far from ourselves, from our bodies, that it becomes painful, or we become ill with some sort of dis-ease. And I can tell you, as someone who had their gallbladder taken out at 17 years old, it can happen in childhood, it can happen in adulthood. This is not to put fear in anyone, it's just that it can happen, and it's only a matter of time until it does happen. So if we can manifest that reality through checking out and ignoring things and keep on pushing on, do what you got to do to survive. I grew up hearing that saying, do whatever you have to do to survive. And while it made me freaking strong as hell, I also don't just want to survive, nor do I want to teach my children how to just survive. We want to thrive, and I want you to thrive. So let's get back in our bodies. Let's reconnect with our intuition, our hearts, our divine stream of intelligence. This is what we all are allowed to have. We're allowed to hear that voice. We're allowed to feel that voice come through us. And this is your invitation to do so.